Hey Wolfpack, and welcome back. I hope you all had a great week. It's finally about to be fall, and that means the perfect time for campfires and stories, of course. So, tonight we're reading Stalker Stories. I know I haven't done these in quite a while. I'm trying to start finding more topics that I haven't done in a while again. Have you had a stalker? Comment down below. I'm very curious to hear your experience, and I hope you made it out safe. So, with that said, whether you're sitting around a campfire, on the night shift, or even laying in bed, let my voice soothe your nightmares. Growing up, I always wanted my personal laptop. The issue wasn't money. I was not allowed to have the internet or social media in my household. I failed countless school assignments due to not having the ability to do it at home. Pretty messed up place to grow up. Safe to say, as soon as I turned 18, I bailed the hell out of that house. As soon as I was free and renting a room from a friend, I fell in love with the internet and all it had to offer. I would use my friend's laptop to learn as much as I could. I discovered social media and online shopping. I was swept up in the bidding on eBay. It was exciting at first. Then, I would lose my shit after being outbid at the last minute. I started off by buying used clothes and shoes. The next thing I got was an Xbox 360 for less than $100. Mind you, this was 2007. My roommate started getting pissed that I was always on his laptop. So, that was the next item on my list. I was browsing for cheap laptops when I ran across a Sony Vaio SZ. The seller only wanted $150. I clicked on the buy now. When I did, my heart leaped. No bidding and free shipping. I entered my credit card number and bought it. It took a week and the laptop arrived via FedEx while I was at work. When I got home, I tore into the box. It was basically brand new. I hooked it up to the internet and started to explore it. It worked like a charm. Only thing that I couldn't get to work was the webcam or the mic. But this laptop was a steal, basically. I emailed the seller to let them know about the malfunction. They responded saying they were willing to let me keep the laptop and give me a full refund. I was stoked. I was feeling so fucking lucky. The problem started a few weeks later. The first thing that I noticed was on my MySpace feed. People were commenting and laughing at me. I opened my page and saw that there was a picture of me from far away. In this picture, I was wearing nothing but a towel, as I had just gotten out of the shower. I was shook. Who had taken that picture? I was quick to delete it and play it off as a joke. When my roommate got home, I was quick to laugh and let him know it was a good prank. He told me he had no idea what I was talking about. I quickly explained the situation and he let me know that he didn't do it, since he was at his girlfriend's house at the time. We had a few beers and I quickly forgot about it. The next night was one of the strangest yet. After messing around MySpace and stuff, I shut off my laptop and decided to go drink and smoke with my roommate and his friends. One of his friends was on MySpace and noticed that I had just posted some strange shit, basically saying that I was all this horrible shit. The post ended with a picture of me on my bed with a girl that I was seeing at the time. In capital letters, it asked, "Wanna see more?" I froze, and they were silent. No one knew what to say. They couldn't explain how I had posted that since my laptop was in my room. One of them asked me to see my laptop, and I went to go get it. When I walked into the room, the laptop was on, and I clearly remembered turning it off. So, this was a bit strange. I made my way to the living room. My roommate's buddy was in college for a degree in computer science and coding. He ran a scan and started looking at all the code. At first glance, he saw nothing, but after a second, he saw that the hardware and firmware had been altered, and CPU microcode had been altered to ignore microcode updates. Basically, set up a backdoor by replacing the root password or something like that. We all stared at him in silence. He grabbed a piece of paper and a marker. Shutting the laptop off, he started writing frantically. When he was done, he passed it around. They are controlling your webcam and microphone remotely. They can hear you. I grabbed the laptop and went full chimp on it, smashing it against the counter. Took the remaining pieces and soaked them in the sink with running water. Safe to say, I learned my lesson about buying used electronics on eBay. Why do people hate stalkers so much? I've always wondered that. I've always considered it cool having someone that loves you so much that they follow you everywhere. It was always kind of cool in my mind. Sexy, even. One day, I was browsing this website that provided me with really creepy stuff, like webcam security cam footage, 911 calls, audio clips, in all of which something paranormal or creepy happens. I was a big fan of this stuff, and always spending my nights browsing through these. So, as usual, I was in my bed, blinds closed, under all my covers with a snack, and was browsing through this website when I saw something with my name, Darius Fernsby, on the title. Huh, weird, I thought, and opened it. I don't know what it is, some kind of confession? It went like this. I am Jermaine Hamilton, a 31-year-old female. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? What should I be doing? I don't know. Her voice was cracking, like she was crying. I felt very sad for her. I want some attention, I guess. I've been diagnosed with clinical depression and schizophrenia at the age of 12. I have been living in foster homes and children's shelters for many years. I have not seen my mother, and my father was an alcoholic and a drug addict. I have taken care of myself since I can remember, and was forced to do paying jobs at the age of 7. My dad was kind enough to give me money to satisfy my needs, and took the rest to spend for himself. He did this because I could survive, and he could take his aggression and anger out on me. His basement was a dungeon. He had tools that he used to torture me and tie me up and abuse me, sometimes sexually. He said my mom had died giving me birth, and it was my fault in that I killed her. You fucking little bitch! You killed Shannon! She was everything to me! She was my angel! My only light! You bitch! You fucking killed her?! This was something he had said to me, and something I vividly remember. He was almost never home, which I was grateful for. When he was at home, he would most often bring me to the dungeon and torture me. His favorite thing to do to me was to burn a screwdriver until it glowed, and he would stab me with it. He took pleasure in watching my flesh burn and hearing my screams. If he was not torturing me, he would use me for his other needs, because of the absence of my mother. I always prefer this because it caused me less pain than getting burned in my pubic region, or getting cut and getting brake fluid or some other substance poured or rubbed on the wound. I had never tried to run from him, because it felt like he had me on a leash. No matter where I went, I always found myself returning to that house, over and over again. He was eventually caught for injecting heroin in his veins in public. I was 12 at the time, and was transferred to a child shelter. I was never adopted, and to this day, I have social anxiety. Oh no, poor woman. She must have been scarred very much. I found myself tearing up at this point. I did not have any friends at my time in foster homes except for one, Tony Pennington. He was 2 years older than me, and I adored him. He was funny, handsome, sometimes awkward, and was very nice to me. I found myself loving him. I couldn't take my mind off of him. I would sometimes sneak over to the boy's place and watch him sleep. He was so handsome. His chiseled face, blonde hair, green eyes. He was irresistible. I found myself obsessed with him. He was my best friend, and one day I confessed my love to him. He also said he loved me, which made me very happy. Being in his warmth, I felt like I was in the safest place ever. One night we kissed. It was our first kiss, and I found myself leaning towards him, wanting more. But we had to part ways. He got a family, and he was adopted. They were not willing to take another child. I was heartbroken. I found myself in depression again. Years passed by. I had to get a job eventually. So, at 19 years old, I took up a job as a waitress at a restaurant called The Hot Market and bought myself an apartment. Wait, that's just a couple of blocks away from here. I was mostly alone and sad. I then proceeded to harm myself when I was sad. I took up prostitution on a side job, and that had helped me cope with my sadness. April 15th, 2005 is when I saw the man of my life. I was serving people, and saw this beautiful, handsome, and charismatic man. I instantly fell in love with him. His blue eyes were perfect. I found him on Facebook and Instagram. His name was Darius Fernsby. Wait, what? I thought. Chiseled face, blue eyes, dark hair. That was all my features. But I have never met a woman with the name Germaine. Ever. What the hell is she talking about? We met again at a movie theater, and I proceeded to ask him out. What the fuck? For as long as I remember, I had never been asked out. We made love on our first date. We connected in a very deep level. I'm a virgin. We dated several times, and we made love so much. He promised me he would marry me. Wait. He declared that he loved me more than anything else. Wasn't she schizophrenic? I started to pull my life together again. I was cured of depression. I started taking schizophrenia medicines again. What's gonna happen? But life decided to fuck me over again. Darius had disappeared. He was gone. He was the only happiness of my life, but he decided to ditch me. Whoa, 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 whoa. I have decided I will end my life. I don't want to live anymore, and I do not care for myself. I sucked off a stranger again, and I went out to prostitution again. I didn't care, and that's what it was. Oh shit. A suicide note. But why should I end my life? Oh, thank God. Why should I end my life, while the ones who caused it are wandering in this world free? What? Oh, God, no! Dad, Darius, if you're hearing this, you are not supposed to be free. You cannot just fuck with my life and be free. No. If I'm going to die, I'm taking you with me. Even if it's the last good thing that is going to happen to me, I will kill you, and I'm not going to give myself to police. I will not let them take me alive. They will find my dead body. Dad, Darius, just wait. Your time will come. The recording stopped, and I panicked. I looked at when this was uploaded. Uploaded 2 hours ago. Shit! I put down my phone, went to the closet to take my baseball bat and checked. I opened my blinds, and I was horrified. Why do people hate stalkers? Now, I know. I have been a Twitch streamer ever since my YouTube channel got permanently suspended after some questionable decisions I've made. Despite this, my loyal fans still follow me wherever I go in the digital landscape we call the internet. Especially this one obsessed fan I've recently received numerous emails from. Usually, I just ignore them, but the emails have started to become a little strange, to say the least. The first couple 2 or 3 emails were innocent fan messages about my gaming skills and little inside jokes I have with my audience. But the next one was a little more than just an inside joke. Why don't you respond to your messages? I love the game Doom Eternal, and I think you should try it on Twitch sometime if you haven't already, even though I know you mostly play multiplayer games. I just love watching your streams, and I love the brown reclining chair you have in your living room. Now, obviously, I thought this was a troll email from a fan who just desperately wanted my attention, so I ignored it. But then the emails got a little bit more specific. The next one was, "Are you still ignoring me? I was wondering if you were willing to let me come over to hang out. We could do a 24-hour stream together. I'll come over on the 24th, so be ready for me, Alex." This email was the one that told me something was up. He knew me by my middle name. My middle name. I've never shared that info with anyone. though I figured it wouldn't be hard for someone to find out my full name if they did enough research. So, I figured he or she was just trying to grab my attention again. A part of me was really tense about the date he chose to tell me about. The 24th. That's my birthday. I never told my audience about it because I wanted it to be a surprise when I announced how old I was turning. The day my birthday came around, I was sitting on stream with my chat, watching YouTube, and I heard a knock at my door. When I went downstairs to open the door, all I saw was a wrapped gift with the words, "Happy Birthday," written on it, from my biggest fan. After I got the gift, I immediately went back to my room and I closed the stream. I was so scared I didn't even open the gift. Literally shaking, I pulled out my phone and called the police. When they came to investigate, they just took my name and didn't do anything else. They just told me, "If he comes around again, just give us another call." I gave myself a moment to calm down, and then I made a tweet addressing my problem and told my fans I'd have to quit streaming for a while until this is solved. Added, Epic Gamer 26 girlfriend speaking. Since the night of his birthday, he's gone missing. If anyone has any information, please contact the appropriate authorities. I just want my boyfriend back. Thanks for listening, Wolfpack. If you want to submit your own story, the links for my email and subreddit will be down below. I've also created a Discord, so if you want to join that, the link will be in the description down below as well. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And with that said, have beautiful nightmares, and I will see you next time.